Good evening. My name is Phil Miller, and my presentation is on one of the most resilient companies in America today, Sturm Ruger and Company. Who is Sturm Ruger and Company? Well, first of all, they're better known as Ruger, and they're an American firearms manufacturer. They produce pistols, rifles, and revolvers right here in the United States. They were founded in 1949 by Alexander Sturm and William Ruger. They are based out of Southport, Connecticut, and have 3 manufacturing facilities in the U.S. Their Prescott, Arizona plant produces all of their pistols, while the plants in Newport, New Hampshire, and Maiden, North Carolina produce the rifles and revolvers. If we look into the financials of Sturm Ruger and Company, we will see that over the last 5 years, they have averaged almost $600 million in total revenue. And they have also averaged just over $70 million of net income. If you look at the chart, though, there are 2 years that stand out in particular, 2013 and 2016. But in both of these years, their total revenue was well over $650 million. And their net income in 2013 was $111 million, while their net income in 2016 was almost $90 million. Why do these years stand out? In the previous years before those, there were some tragedies in the United States that I believe helped contribute to these numbers. In 2012, there was the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting. And in 2016, there was the Pulse nightclub shooting, along with executive orders from President Barack Obama on gun control. So if we take a closer look at these tragedies in the United States, in 2012, at the Sandy Hook Elementary School, a lone gunman walked in the school with an AR-15 semi-automatic rifle and killed 26 people. 20 of those were students. In 2015, in San Bernardino, California, 2 gunmen, which was later ruled a terrorist attack, walked into a health department, killing 14 people. Again, armed themselves with AR-15s. This led to, in January of 2016, President Barack Obama's executive orders on gun control. Later that year in 2016, in Orlando, Florida at the Pulse nightclub, a lone gunman walked in, again with an AR-15, and killed 49 people and injured 53 others. In 2017, a lone gunman in Las Vegas, Nevada, who opened fire on a crowd at a Jason Aldean concert, killed 59 people. And then the latest here in 2018 in February at the Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School, a former student walked in with an AR-15 and he killed 17 people and injured 15 others. If we look at the next slide, Ruger stock prices from 2015 to 2018, I think we can see a correlation between these tragedies and their stock price. So in 2015, we had the San Bernardino, California shooting. As you can see, the stock price went up slightly, and towards the end of the year, it was come back down. In 2016, at the beginning, we had President Barack Obama's executive orders on gun control. Then we also had the Pulse nightclub shooting, and as you can see, once again, stock prices for Ruger went up. So as we get to 2017, we have 2 things that kind of go hand in hand, but actually interact in opposite directions. First, we have the election of President Trump. And then we had the Las Vegas shooting. So as you can see, towards mid-year, Ruger stock prices went up and then back down. 2018, we had the Parkland, Florida school shooting, and as you can see, the Ruger stock prices have started to trend up. So if we look now, why you say why? Why are the stock prices going up? Why is the total revenue going up? Because when you have tragedy like that, you also have panic. You have people that want to go out and they want to buy firearms for their protection. Then you also have other people who are the anti-gun people. They want to ban firearms. They want to repeal the Second Amendment. That causes a panic in the gun owners of America, and they go out and they buy more. So as you can see, we can look at this chart here, and what this is the number of FBI background checks that have occurred after each one of these incidents. So in December of 2012, when you had the Sandy Hook shooting, the following month, the number of background checks went up 776,000. When you had the San Bernardino shooting, background checks went up over 1 million. And in each case, after the executive actions and after every other shooting that there was, the number of background checks increased. Now, does that mean that that number of guns were sold? No. But what it does mean is that there was a panic and people raced to the gun stores to buy home protection guns or self-protection guns. All of these background checks that went through doesn't mean that everybody got one, but people were trying. And in turn, gun stores were selling more guns. In turn, total revenue for Ruger and other gun companies go up. So, another reason though why Ruger has been successful over the years, even with all the tragedies, is their diverse product line. Like I said in the opening, they produce rifles, they produce single action and double action revolvers, and they produce pistols, single action pistols, single action double action pistols, and striker fired pistols. And as you can see by this slide, they actually have 16 different models of pistols. Now these range from multiple calibers, including .22 long rifle, .380 ACP, .45 ACP, .40 Smith & Wesson, and 9mm. Now these are also striker fired guns, single action, double action guns, and some single action only guns. So let's take a look at one gun in particular, the Ruger SR9. This is significant because it was Ruger's first striker fired pistol. It's the gun that got them into the striker fired market, which was dominated at that time by Glock. This was introduced in 2009. Now the difference between this gun and the Glock, which was so popular, this gun had a 17-round double-stack magazine. The most popular Glock at the time, 15-round double-stack magazine. It also had fully adjustable rear sights. It had a reversible back strap. That way you could tailor the gun to your hand. And one of the biggest things was the price. It was about $100 cheaper than a Glock, and it retailed at about $450. What made this gun so special, however, which I believe sold a lot of guns this way, was the key safety items that this gun had. 4 in particular. The first being a top-mounted loaded chamber indicator. So when the chamber actually had a live round in it, you could visually tell just by looking at the top, and you would see the loaded chamber indicator come up, and there would be a red stripe at the top. Also, it has a built-in trigger safety. So you actually have to pull that safety in the trigger to be able to make that gun fire. It also had an external thumb safety. So if the trigger safety wasn't enough for people, they also had that. And then the most important safety item on this weapon, you did not have to pull the trigger to disassemble this gun to clean it. On almost every other striker fired gun, once you pull the slide back, you have to pull that trigger to release the slide. Ruger found out a way not to have to pull the trigger. You pulled the slide back, you pushed down the pin on the inside, and then that slide would come off without having to pull the trigger. That would prevent an accidental discharge while somebody was trying to clean their firearm. So if we look at one other pistol that came out that was significant, that is the Ruger LC9S. Now, what is significant about this? Well, this was launched in 2014. Again, another striker-fired handgun. However, instead of a 17-round double-stack magazine, this had a 7-round single-stack magazine. So it was easier to conceal. This put them in to the market of the people that wanted a very small, compact, concealable handgun. Again, it came with the same safety features as did the SR9, which was a built-in trigger safety, an external thumb safety, and also it had a magazine disconnect. The magazine disconnect means once the magazine is out of the gun, the weapon will not fire. So again, preventing accidental discharges when somebody thinks that the gun might be unloaded. The price point on this was phenomenal at around $350. Very affordable gun in the concealed carry market at that time. So let's look at the revolvers. Ruger also makes 11 models of revolvers. Now on top of those 11 models, they come in multiple calibers as well. Anywhere from a 22 long rifle, 38 special 357 Magnum, 44 Magnum, 9mm, and 10mm. These are also, some of them are double action revolvers, and some of them are single action only revolvers. So you have a very good variety of what people want in a revolver. Then we come to their rifles. Again, 16 different models of rifles. As you can see, their product line is very, very diverse. They have several different models of bolt action rifles, several different models of auto-loading rifles, and even a single shot model. The calibers that you can get these rifles in far outnumber the calibers of the pistols or the revolvers, which makes this very versatile, very appealing to consumers who want long-range rifles, sporting rifles, hunting rifles, you name it, they can find it in a Ruger. Let's take a look at one of the rifles that really made an impact in Ruger's company, I believe, the Ruger AR-556. Now, they introduced this in 2014, and this was Ruger's first introduction in the AR platform, which is the most popular platform of rifle. It's a sporting platform. People can use it for home protection as well. The difference between this and other ARs in the market: one, they had a 2-stage piston that required less cleaning and lubrication. Number 2, the price point. At an MSRP of $799, it was a very good deal for consumers. Ruger took this rifle, they took the best parts of other companies' AR-15s, and they tried to mold it and put it into this rifle. That way consumers didn't have to worry about buying the rifle and then putting aftermarket parts on it to build and make it what they wanted it to be. Ruger invented this rifle to be a standalone, give it to the consumer, and they will love to have that rifle, as is no modifications. And they did a very good job with that. So if we look at the number of firearms sold in 2017, you can see that Sturm Ruger is at the top of the list. They sold over 1.6 million guns in 2017. Almost 750 million pistols and 750,000 rifles and 662,000 rifles. They have a very diverse product line. They appeal to a wide range of consumers. They have very affordable prices. Because of those three things, that is why you will see Ruger at the top of this list. So, with all of this, what is their weakness? I've been telling you about their strengths. Well, the political climate in the U.S. is their biggest weakness. Every time there's a mass shooting, there's a public outcry for a weapons ban or the repeal of the Second Amendment. And it also depends on the political party control of who's in the White House and who's in Congress. Democratic White House, Democratic Congress means that people will not want to go out and buy rifles and handguns. Republican Congress, Republican White House, people are more calm and they're not afraid of losing their rights. So how does Ruger handle the political climate and volatile market? Because of their diverse product line, their affordable products, and their meeting customer needs. How can they continue to be successful? They must stay neutral in the political climate. They need to continue to make new products and get into new markets. And they can also look into getting in the high-end pistol market, which they're not a part of yet. So as you can see, Sturm Ruger and Company has withstood the political climates, the tragedies in the U.S., and the political outcry and public outcry for the repeal of the Second Amendment, the banning of assault weapons. They've withstood all that, and they still come out on top. And as you can see, I believe that they are shooting ahead of the competition. Thank you.